Coming up next, Week 1 continues here in the HTFL as the Green Bay Packers travel to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Just want to note before beginning, we're up to 12 subscribers as of present, on the day of this recording, the 21st of May, 2020. Utah Mike on the Sports Time Machine, thank you for subscribing, as well as Sean, who just subscribed today. We're getting ready for Green Bay and Minnesota. I think I hear a national anthem getting ready to be played. Green Bay won the toss and will receive, by the way. US Bank Stadium, the new home of the Minnesota Vikings, is where we emanate from today, as Green Bay and Minnesota will do battle in this Upper North Division game, which is essentially the NFC North. We have Aaron Rodgers against Fran Tarkenton on the sidelines. Oh, talk about a couple of old pros. Vince Lombardi for Green Bay and Bud Grant for Minnesota. Odom back to receive the kickoff. And it's a touchback, 1st and 10 for the Packers coming up at the 20. We'll set the offense for you for Green Bay. And what an offense this is. Jim Taylor, Anderson at running back. And that would be Donnie Anderson of the 60s Packers team that Vince Lombardi led. Don Hudson, who we'll probably see at defensive back later on in the game. Sterling Sharp. Houghton, your tight end. Your offensive line, Greg, Kramer, Ringo, Gillingham, and Bakhtiari joins the group. I'm just guessing on that last name. We'll set the Minnesota defense for you after this 1st and 10. They give to Taylor, and it's no gain. Okay, as promised, here we go. We have Paul Kaufman coming into the game for Green Bay at tight end, by the way. Eller, Dolman, Page, Randall, your front four. Blair and Simeon at linebacker. And the Vikings just went to 5 defensive backs. We'll name them all here. Bryant, Rhodes, Browner, Krause, and Smith. 2nd and 10 for the Packers at their own 20. We're just beginning. And that's a screen pass to Taylor, and that's 4 yards. So now a 3rd and 6 situation for Green Bay. See what they do here. And it was a pitch to Anderson, and he only picked up 1 yard before Alan Page got him. Minnesota will get the ball, barring a turnover, 4th and 5. And that was West. They thought he had a touchdown, but no, they're saying he stepped out of bounds at the 31. So everybody in the crowd went wild, thinking they had already scored a touchdown, but not to be. Fran Tarkenton, who in the historical set, the Dave Koch Sports Action PC Football historical set, is with the Giants. I have moved him to Minnesota. I figure he took Minnesota to 3 Super Bowls. He deserves to play on the Vikings. It's the only case I've really overruled the game rosters, as it were. He will be the starting quarterback. Peterson and Brown are your running backs. Carter and Moss, Randy Moss, at wide receiver. Jordan, the tight end. The offensive line, Zimmerman, McDaniel, Tingelhoff, White, and Yeri. I should set the defense for Green Bay unless they go into a different set. Davis, Campman, Jordan, and Ray, their front four. Matthews, Nitschke, Robinson, your linebackers. Adderley, Hudson again. Dillon and Wood, the defensive backs. 1st and 10, and I control the home team, so I'm going to go off tackle right. Adrian Peterson, they're showing blitz, that's okay. Pickup of 3 as Peterson tries the right side behind Yeri, tackled by Ray. We'll take a look at Mr. Ray, that's Baby Ray, and he will play both offense and defense for Green Bay. You see a few players playing both ways. Hudson, who was a Hall of Famer as a wide receiver, but people forget that he also played as a defensive back because that's what you did back then. 2nd and 7, ball at the 34. We're going to go sweep right, Adrian Peterson. And Peterson's got the first. Pickup of 8. By the way, I opened up a Coke. I didn't open up a beer. Adderley knocked him down. Pickup of 8 yards. Ball at the 42. Problem with this Minnesota team is they got a lot of weapons, offensively and defensively. They may not have the great history, the great lineage that Green Bay does, Green Bay winning all those NFL championships throughout the years, as recently as Super Bowl 45 in 2010, but they do have good players. We're going to go to one of them right now. Randy Moss on a medium cross. Incomplete. Jordan was hurt, the tight end for Minnesota. They say he'll be back in a few. We're going to go to Bill Brown on a screen pass on 2nd and 10. And Brown, 7-yard pickup. McDaniel needs to be spelled, so they'll bring Dixon in for this 3rd and 3 play. They'll go three wide receivers and a tight end. Percy Harvin entering the game. And we'll try to get it to him on a hitch. And let's see. It was Harvin who caught it. Pickup of 11. McDaniel already back in the game. We'll go off tackle right, Adrian Peterson. Penalty down.
Encroachment, defense. Number 87, 5-yard penalty.
I'm sure Minnesota will take the penalty on Willie Davis. 5 yards. Going to be a 1st and 5 now. Ball at the 36. We'll go play action long pass to, guess who? Randy Moss. They looked for him and they got him. And it was Don Hudson making the tackle. He was the key defender. So a battle of all-star wideouts in their time. Hudson against Moss. And Moss won the first round. Moss doesn't play defensive back. Or actually, he did for maybe a few plays in his career when they needed to swat down a Hail Mary or something like that. 1st and goal at the 10. We're going to give it to Peterson, off tackle right. And he just gets back to the line. Picks up a yard after Campman brought him down at the 9. Chris Carter, we haven't heard from him yet. Short slant. They're showing blitz, but this play should be there. Incomplete. 3rd and goal at the 9. We'll go Jordan. Medium cross. It's intercepted by Adderley, and he returns it 35 yards. So that's a game changer for Green Bay. They'll start at the 39. It'll be 1st and 10 for them with 8:31 to go in the opening quarter. Incomplete pass. Houghton was the intended receiver. And they're now looking at 2nd and 10. Taylor up the middle, but Blair was right there to meet him. No gain. 3rd and 10. Penalty.
False start. Offense. Number 64, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
That was Jerry Kramer on the penalty, who threw that famous block to give the Packers that 21-17 Ice Bowl win over the Cowboys to get them to Super Bowl II. Right now, we're looking at a 3rd and 15 for Green Bay. Long hitch to Hudson, incomplete. Rhodes tipped it up for the incompletion. So Minnesota's going to get the ball back on a punt. It's going to go inside the 20. I have a decision to make whether to return it, fair catch it, or let it roll. I'm going to fair catch it. And it's fair caught at the 18. And it'll be 1st and 10 from Minnesota from there. As the phone rings in the background and it's just another scammer, I'm just going to go off tackle right, Adrian Peterson. No gain. So the defense is carrying the day so far. Pitch right, Adrian Peterson. We'll go right back to him. Pickup of 2, 3rd and 8 coming up for the Vikes. Randy Moss, medium slant. And that's caught. Sharper on the tackle after a pickup of 17. We're down to 5:50 left, first quarter. Peterson, off tackle right. Try to give Peterson as many touches as possible. He's already at 6 carries for 15 yards, 10 minutes into this game. We'll go Carter, short slant. Incomplete. Shotgun motion time for Minnesota. We'll go medium. Percy Harvin. Incomplete. So the Vikings drive stymied. Bob Lee, who was a backup quarterback for Fran Tarkenton for many years, could also punt. He will do so here. And, oh, we got trouble on the snap. Ran with it, but Sharper traps Lee for a 10-yard loss, and that flips the field for Green Bay. They will have excellent field position at the Viking 28 with a 1st and 10 play. Dump off to Jim Taylor, incomplete. Blair looks like he provided some key defensive coverage for the Vikings. That'll be a 2nd and 10 at the 28. Haven't missed much if you're just tuning in. We'll run this play. And just as I say that, there you go. Touchdown, Paul Kaufman. We have our first score of the game. Rogers to Kaufman. Here's the point after try. It is good. Longwell. And it's 7-0. Percy Harvin back for Minnesota as a kick receiver, and he is a threat to go all the way. He doesn't do that time, and it'll be 28 yards pickup. Moving the ball out to the 36. Vikings are going to go double tight end. They want to run the ball a little bit here. Off tackle right for Bill Brown. And it's a 2-yard pickup. Let's take a look at Bill Brown out of the University of Illinois. Played on the Vikings teams of the 60s. We'll be familiar with Fran Tarkenton, who played with the Vikings in 2 spurts in the 60s, and then he was traded to the Giants, and then he came back to the Vikings after Tarkenton and the Giants kind of parted ways, long before players and teams did part ways with each other, when there wasn't free agency, and the only way you could really trade for anybody, you could get the player back was by a trade. Anyway, back at the ranch, 2nd and 8. We're going to go Jordan. We're going to stay in the same formation. Jordan on a short hitch. Not there. So this Green Bay defense, after letting Minnesota go down the field on that initial possession, they have tightened up immensely. We're going to go medium hitch, Randy Moss. Moss not there. Sharper deflected it away. So Lee back to punt, and hopefully he'll have better results than he did last time with that botched kick.
Holding. Receiving team.
Wood from the 13, but there's a penalty. Hudson was called for holding. Not only does he play offense and defense, he plays special teams too. So Green Bay starts at the 6, 1st and 10. 2-yard gain for Taylor. Rhodes injured on the play. They're going to bring Lee in, and differently. I don't think that's Bob Lee playing corner. It's Carl Lee, played on the 80s teams, coached by Jerry Burns. And now it's 2nd and 8 from the 8. Jim Taylor and that famous power sweep, but Blair was there to knock him down. No gain. 3rd and 8. Again from the 8. Rogers calls a timeout before the play could get underway, so we'll do it all again. 3rd and 8. And Green Bay was think and draw, but Chris Dolman was there to say, Pickup of a yard. 4th and 7 now from the 9, so the Vikings will set up a return. And they'll have good field position as West picks up a couple of yards, and it brings it out to the Green Bay 48. 1:11 left in the opening quarter, 7-0 Packers. Here's Bill Brown, off tackle right. No yardage, met by Clay Matthews. And that's going to make a 2nd and 10. We'll go screen to Brown. Brown caught it and ran it out to the 37, but there was a fumble on the play. Chris Carter picked it up for the Vikings, and it'll be an 11-yard pickup accredited to Brown. And that should be the end of the first quarter, and it is. So it's 7-0 Green Bay after 15. Trap right, Adrian Peterson. Peterson with a nice pickup of 9 yards. We're going to try that play action again and go to Randy Moss. Bingo! Randy Moss. And we're a point away from a tie game. And it's good. Walsh puts it through. We're dead even 7-all. Odom back for the Packers. Touchback. So Green Bay gets it back 1st and 10 at the 20. Number 14 is Don Hudson, who we had been mentioning quite a bit in the opening part of this game. Look at his stats. He's a 10-plus wide receiver. He kicks, but I don't think he'll be called to kick in this game. Defensive back, he is a 9, so he could play anywhere. 1st and 10, Green Bay at the 20. Dolman on the tackle as Anderson picks up a couple. 2nd and 8. No, I don't want to call a timeout. I hit the wrong button. And Aaron Rodgers calls another timeout, so the Green Bay Packers are now down to 1 timeout left, and they got to go 13-24 with it. 2nd and 8. Once again, Taylor, and he stopped at the line. In fact, he loses a yard. Randall. That is John Randall, Texas A&M Kingsville. He makes the tackle. He's a great player on those 90s teams. In 1998, they broke the NFL scoring record, but they couldn't outscore Atlanta, who wound up going to the Super Bowl that year and losing to the Denver Broncos. 3rd and 9, ball to 21. Don Hudson over the middle, good for 16 yards and a first. Rhodes on the tackle for the Vikes. So we'll do it again, 1st and 10 at the 37. Jim Taylor with the power sweep to the right side, 5-yard pickup. He's got 7 carries and 7 yards on the day, so Minnesota's held him under wraps until just then. 2nd and 5, ball at the 42. Taylor, and not much there. A yard, Simeon on the tackle. So now 3rd down and 4. Taylor on a screen pass, and that's good for a 1st and 15 yards. Browner made the tackle. I believe that is Joey Browner. Yes, it is, out of USC, played on those 80s teams. 1st and 10, ball at the 42. They go over the middle for Houghton, but it's incomplete. Browner got in front of it. 2nd and 10 at the 42. Rodgers dropped back to pass, and Blair was there to sack him. It's a loss of 7. Matt Blair out of Iowa State. Played in the late 70s, early 80s teams. 3rd and 17 at the 49. Rodgers looking for Don Hudson, incomplete. So now they'll have to punt, and we will just let it roll. And it rolls dead at the 9, which isn't too bad considering it could have been closer to the goal. 1st and 10, 7-7 tie, ball at the 9. We're going to go Peterson up the middle on a dive. Good for 5 yards. Billy Davis on the tackle for the Packers. We'll go Chris Carter, short cross. Incomplete. Three wide receivers entering the game. We're going to put a man in motion, but Peterson's going to get it on the screen. And that's good for a first. 11-yard pickup, moving it out to the 25. Bill Brown, trap right. 2-yard pickup before Adderley brought him down. Adderley, I believe, would go on and play for Dallas after his glory days at Green Bay were over with. 2nd and 8, ball to 27. A slant to Chris Carter out of Ohio State. Incomplete. Going to be 3rd and 8 yards to go, so the drive could fizzle here unless Randy Moss could catch this hitch, a medium hitch, and he can't. 4th and 8. Lee will go back to punt. And this goes 45 yards before it falls dead at the 28. 5:55 left until halftime. Your score, Minnesota 7, Green Bay 7. Okay, 1st and 10, ball to 28. Deflected by Rhodes as Rodgers was looking for Dodd Hudson again. Incomplete. 2nd and 10. End around, and this went to Houghton. Houghton, the tight end on an end around. You don't see that every day. Pick up a 4 yard. Sharp came off with a shoulder injury. They say he will shake it off. So actually, he stayed in. 3rd and 6. Packers at their own 32.
Offsides. Defense. Number 93.
The play was not
5-yard
successful,
penalty.
but they caught the Vikings offside, so it's going to be 3rd and 1 at the 37. Packers just need a yard to convert. And they're just short. Gillingham will go out of the game with a toe injury. Should be back by the time the Packers start their next series, assuming there's no turnover here. Here's the punt. Anderson the punt, so Anderson, the running back, doubles as a punter. And we're going to fair catch it. And West makes the fair catch at the 18. 4:46 left to go now. Peterson trap right. A pickup of 4 yards as Aaron Campman came along and made the tackle. 7-7, 4:39 left. Just mentioned the time. I don't know why I'm mentioning it again. Short slant to Chris Carter. Got to be there sooner or later, but not that time. Incomplete. Davis got a hand on it. So the Vikings are going to go 3 tight ends. Shotgun motion. We're going to roll out Tarkenton on a medium pass to Percy Harvin. Packers are showing blitz, so maybe it's a good thing we're rolling them out. Tarkenton decides to scramble, but cannot pick up the first. 4th and 3. So the defense is holding their own here very nicely. Lee back to punt for the Vikes. Willie Wood picks up 11 yards. Ball to 40 now for Green Bay as they start a new drive. 1st and 10. Power sweep to the left with Jimmy Taylor. Vince Lombardi loved those power sweeps. And let's see, it was Rhodes who made the tackle. 2nd and 7 at the 43. That was good for a first down for Anderson. Anderson picked up 8 before Simeon could get him. Vikings are not going to use a timeout. So as you see there, Donnie Anderson could not only run it out of the backfield, but he could also punt. He was on those early 70s Green Bay teams. Green Bay made the playoffs in the early 70s, a few years after Vince Lombardi left them, went to Washington, and then, unfortunately, Vince Lombardi in real life passed away of cancer. And they did have a good teams in the early 70s, Green Bay did, because they still had the nucleus of the Vince Lombardi teams. But after that, they kind of fell off the face of the earth. They were contenders again starting in the late 80s, and then by the time Brett Favre came along, they again contended. So, 1st and 10, ball at the 49 after my history lesson. And that was Roger dropping back to pass. Could not find Houghton. 2nd and 10 at the 49 as we near the 2-minute warning. Sterling Sharp with a catch for 7. And let's see, we get another playoff before 2 minutes. They do not. Looked like they had, but they said nope. The 2-minute warning came first. A 4th and 3. So Minnesota will set up for a return, although probably won't see it. And nope, they punted to the sidelines, out of bounds at the 9. A minute 53 left to play till halftime. Your score is 7-7. We're gonna go. Let's see, we're at our 9, so we don't want to do anything too risky. We're gonna go dive Peterson and see what the defense does for Green Bay. Pickup of 6. We'll go no huddle. Outside run. Fran Tarkenton. Tarkenton scrambles for 5 yards. That's a first down. Still don't want to use a timeout here. We'll go medium out Chris Carter. And this time Carter, no, it was a check down to Bill Brown. Pickup of 19, minute 22 left, and he got out of bounds to stop the clock. So now this looks like a viable drive for Minnesota. 4 wide receivers, motion, medium pass. Let's make it a medium out to somebody. We'll say Percy Harvin. Use those sidelines. And Chuck Foreman, who had just entered the game, was the target of the pass, but it was incomplete. They bring in Foreman when they go to 4 wide. Moss, medium out. Good for first down. First down yardage, 14-yard pickup at the 47. A minute 12 left, and the Vikings still haven't called a timeout. So it's a good time to go over the middle. We'll go Harvin, medium slant. Tarkenton scrambles. First down. Now they will use a timeout with a minute 5 to go. Ball at the 37. Carter, Moss, Harvin, and Anthony Carter. I should point out there was 2 Carters in the game. Anthony Carter is, let's see, he's up here, number 81, a standout player out of the University of Michigan, who went into the USFL first and then joined the Vikings. 4 wide receivers in the game. Shotgun formation. We'll look for Anthony Carter on a medium out. And they found him. 14-yard pickup and gets out of bounds, stops the clock. Harvin, medium hitch. That's good for a first down. Minnesota in good rhythm here. Well, no huddle. Foreman, draw play. Pay dirt. Chuck Foreman out of Miami, touchdown. And that makes your score 13-7. Here's the extra point try by Walsh, and it's good. 14-7 now. 32 seconds left till halftime. Angle kick. Odom was back deep. One of the up-men guys who was Adderley, even though Adderley is a bit more of a deep threat. He returns at 30 yards. 22 seconds left for Green Bay if they want to make an issue of it with a timeout to go. 1st and 10. Completed to, let's see here, Taylor for 14. Ball out to the 49. 1st and 10 from there, their own 49, I should say. And completed pass, looking long for Houghton. 8 seconds to go. Everybody goes back. Everybody in a deep zone prevent. Might be Hail Mary time for the Packers. But hold the phone. Eller on the sack. Came away with the football was Bryant, but there was no time left on the clock. So we end the first half. The score, Minnesota 14, Green Bay 7. And back with the start of the second half, Big Paulie coming to you from virtually the U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Nice dome stadium. The weather will not be a factor. 68 degrees, no wind. Getting ready to start the second half. Minnesota with two nice drives. One of them an interception down by the goal line, which Green Bay brought back. They have out offensed Green Bay, I guess you could say. 231 yards to 99. Tarkenton 11 for 23 with 171 yards, an interception and a touchdown. Aaron Rodgers a little off his game, 6 of 15 for 84 yards. Packers have only rushed for 27 yards. Minnesota 18 carries and 60 yards as a team. Here's Harvin back to receive the kickoff.
Holding, receiving team.
Harvin would go on and play for the Seattle Seahawks and return a touchdown in that Super Bowl. They beat Denver in 43-8. Super Bowl 48, I believe it was. And let's see here. First and 10 for the Vikes. We're going to go off tackle right, Adrian Peterson. And he was met at the line. Actually lost a yard. Peterson 11 for 38, including that 1 yard loss as Robinson spun him down. Second and 11. Jordan, short hitch. Packers calling a blitz. But Jordan says, I'm going to get it anyway. Pickup of 10. Third and 1. Double tight ends. Hard count. We're going to try to catch the Packers offsides. Peterson over the middle on a dive. Good for the first. No, not good for the first. As Adderley made the tackle and the officials came in and say, no, he did not cross the first down marker. So a 4th and inches and back at their own 19, the Packers are going to get the ball back. The Vikings aren't going to risk it here that deep. Bob Lee back to punt. And let's see, Tingelhoff makes the tackle on Willie Wood, who returns it 4 yards. Ball out to the 37 for a first and 10. Green Bay starts the second half. That's Taylor on a sweep, 1 yard gain before Simeon wraps him up. Taylor has not had a good day at all rushing the ball, 11 for 13 yards, 11 carries for 13 yards. He has caught 3 catches out of the backfield for 33 yards. Okay, second and 9, ball at the 38. And that was a drop pass as they were looking for Paul Kaufman. Let's look at Paul Kaufman ourselves. Out of Kansas State, played on the 80s Packers teams. Third and 9. It was a flea flicker play, but they could not find a deep threat, so they went underneath to Taylor, who took the handoff, gave it back to Rodgers. Rodgers threw it back to Taylor, incomplete. 4th and 9. Packers will punt. And West calls for the fair catch at the 23. 11:34 left in the third quarter. Off tackle right, Adrian Peterson. Gain of 2.
Grabbing the face mask. Defense.
And 15 more.
Number 89. 5-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Robinson with a face mask call, a flagrant one. So the Vikings are going to go medium pass to Randy Moss. It's a dump down to Brown instead. Dump off to Brown, who picks up 7 yards. They have Chris Carter hasn't caught a pass yet today. We'll go to him on a short cross. But instead, the pass was dumped off to Peterson, who picks up 9. Dillon was injured, but shook off the injury and will stay in. He is the safety, one of the safeties for the Packers, who was on the 50s teams. The Packers were not that good, and Vince Lombardi came in 1959 and changed their whole culture around for Green Bay. 14-7, Vikings leading, ball to 48. A first and 10 will go Brown on a dive. 3-yard gain for Brown. Willie Davis was hurt on the play, but he is staying in. Okay, 2nd and 7. Ball the 49-yard line of Minnesota now. Their own 49, I should say. We'll go medium out to Randy Moss. And it's good. 14. They had Moss double teamed, but he still caught it. How about Chris Carter on a long hitch? Bingo! Chris Carter, who hadn't caught a pass all day, makes an impact with his first catch. 20-7 Vikings, about to be 21. I would think it is good. Walsh puts it through. And you score now Minnesota 21, Green Bay 7. Here's Odom back for the kickoff. And it's going to sail through the end zone. A touchback. 1st and 10. Green Bay at their own 20. Got work to do now. Anderson, the intended receiver, incomplete. Now a 2nd and 10 from the 20. Incomplete again, as this time they were looking for Sterling Sharp. 3rd and 10. A very quick 3-and-out for the Packers. That time Rodgers was looking for Paul Kaufman, incomplete. 4th and 10. Packers are going to give the ball up, barring a turnover, which does not come as West makes the fair catch. Ball will be spotted at the 38 with 8:04 to go. I'm Minnesota. I'm going to pound the rock right here and try to get a running game going. We're going to go Peterson off tackle right. Picks up a couple. Campman on the tackle. We're up 21-7, so I don't really see a need if I'm Minnesota, which I am, to play loose. I want to play conservatively here. Bill Brown, trap right. And that's a nice gain, 7 yards. Herb Adderley, his name has been called quite often for the Packers today. That's his 10th tackle. You don't want defensive backs making that many tackles. That's not really usually a sign of a good day for your defense. Anyway, back at the ranch, we're going to go full house. We're going to put Robert Smith to work on a dive. That's good for a first and much more. 12 yards. So a little gadget formation works nicely for the Vikings. And we're going to go Peterson sweep left. And that's a nice pickup. 14 yards. And he will come out of the game for just a little bit. That'll bring Robert Smith out of Ohio State. You see him there. Played on that late 90s teams that were so good for Minnesota. Trap right. That's a nice pickup, 4 yards. Peterson now will come back into the game. And we're going to put him to work right away on a pitch right. But this time not there. Campbell, 2-yard loss. 3rd and 8. Ball to 25. No need to be aggressive here. We're going to go Brown on a screen and settle for the field goal. That is if he didn't get the first down.
Holding, offense,
But
number 65, 10-yard penalty.
you see it there. Zimmerman got called for holding, so that wipes out the first. A 3rd and 18 now. So now you got to be aggressive. Shotgun formation, long pass. But we're going to Randy Moss. 81. You throw underneath to Carter. Good for 7. Ball will be spotted at 28. Walsh is coming in. He's got about a 50-50 chance at a 45-yard field goal here. This to give him up 17, and it's good. So 3:15 left in the third quarter. Vikings now up 24-7. Here's the kick. Odom back. And it's another touchback. Aaron Rodgers, they got to get it going here because on that bench for the Packers, you got Brett Favre. You got Brett Favre available, Bart Starr, Lynn Dickey, Cecil Isbell. We got a whole host of quarterbacks that can step in if needed. on the 75-man rosters that each HTFL team has. First and 10, ball to 20. And nothing doing there. Taylor with a handoff. Dolman converged on him, made the tackle, loss of a yard. Second and 11 at the 19. Pitch to Taylor to the right this time. Randall on the stop. Third and 8, ball to 22. Another 3 and out for the Packers. Not this time. Anderson with a 15-yard catch. Blair made the tackle. And gadget formation as Don Hudson is now behind center. Have to see what happens here. And it was a wildcat. It was a wildcat to Hudson. And he goes for 34 yards. Jordy Nelson will come in to spell him on this play. Ball all the way down to the 29 of the Vikings. 53 seconds left to the end of the quarter. First and 10. A check down to Taylor for 4 yards. Aaron Rodgers so far today, 8 out of 22. Not good. 103 yards. Taylor, 13 carries for 15 yards. The leading receiver, though, 4 for 37 on the receiving front. Ball to 25. Second and 6. We have a penalty.
Holding. Offense. Number 75. 10-yard penalty.
And we'll take the penalty. Make it second and 16. Should be the final play of the quarter coming up. And it's a pass for 10 yards, so they get the penalty yardage back as Houghton makes his catch. And that's one carry for 10 yards. End of 3 here in Minnesota, Minneapolis, the home of Prince Rogers Nelson. May he rest in peace. Your score, 24-7 Vikings. Amon Green enters the game at running back for Green Bay on this 3rd and 6. Okay, that was Hudson making the catch, pick up a 13. They had the Alabama standout double covered, but still made the catch. Only 2 for the day for Hudson for 29 yards, but he had that one rush for 34 just now on this possession. Ball to 12, first and 10. Can the Packers draw close? Well, not on that play. Amon Green loses a yard, drilled by John Randall. Ball to 13 for a second and 11. And they get to Rodgers. He fumbles, but Rodgers picks it up. A 3rd and 16 now at the 18-yard line. Even a field goal would help Green Bay out here a little bit. They give it to Hudson on a throw. Complete, but not first down yardage. Only got 8 yards. They needed 16. They'll bring in the field goal team. This will be from 27 yards out. Good. That Minnesota crowd doesn't like it when the Packers score, even when they kick 3. It's 24-10. Arvin back deep. We're going to have him return it since he can score.
Holding. Receiving team. 10-yard penalty.
He's a deep threat. Bryant, though, a holding penalty, and that's not good for the Vikings. Trying to kill off this last 11:57. They're up 14, 21-10. We're going to do something unexpected. Long hitch to Chris Carter. And it's batted at the line. What happened to it here? Jordan drilled Fran Tarkenton as he was throwing the long hitch. He has had his bell rung, and he will be out a few plays. So that brings in Dante Culpepper. You see him here, the standout from Central Florida. Played for the Vikings a few years. And right now, they're looking at a 2nd and 10. I just think they want to give the ball to Peterson here. Let Culpepper get his feet wet. And it's a nice gain of 15 before Robertson can catch him. Culpepper played his high school football, by the way, out of Ocala, Florida. Was a standout there before most of the country knew about him. Trap right, Adrian Peterson. Peterson this time no gain. No gain. Baby Ray made the tackle for Green Bay. So now 10:54 left, 2nd and 10 at the 25. Let's see. We'll go to Carter on a medium out. Tarkenton back in, but it's a fumble.
The
Nitschke
previous
picks it up,
play is under
and it's a
review.
touchdown. But there's a booth
Upon
review.
further review, the passer's arm was coming forward. Incomplete.
Not a touchdown, not a touchdown, as you heard the official right there. Wave that touchdown off the board. It'll now be 3rd and 10. Ball to 25 as we nearly had a dramatic development there. Percy Harvard, medium fly. Incomplete pass. Campman got a finger on it. So now momentum now shifting to Green Bay. Lee back to punt for Minnesota, and they already got to him once today. Studwell on the tackle as Wood picks up 8 on the return. So you got the sense that Green Bay now has momentum. They trail 24-10, and there's still 10 minutes to go in this game, regulation time. Game number 12 of this first week of HTFL play. Ball at the 40, 1st and 10. Deflected by Paul Krause. Houghton could not make it. Incomplete. 2nd and 10 at the 40. Rogers was scrambling and just chucked that one away. 3rd and 10 now at the 40. Throw to Amon Green was incomplete. So Green Bay will have to punt it away and play defense and hope for something big to happen. Returnable. And it's West who picks up 7 yards. It's going to be 1st and 10 at the 28. Brown, dive play. Bill Brown picks up a couple of yards. We're going to go Peterson, sweep right. Trying to chew up some clock here, too. 4-yard gain. Peterson again. Even though it's 3rd down, we're going to try it. Sweep to the right. And that's a first. And a little more after that. He has 17 yards before Sharper can knock him down. He's up to 20 carries on the day for 91 yards. It's going to be 1st and 10 at the 49 of Green Bay. We'll go Brown again. We'll go trap left. Haven't done that all day. Pickup of a yard. Vikings just want to chew up that clock and make sure that when Green Bay gets it back, they get it back with as minimal amount of time as they can. Sweep right, Peterson. And he's met at the line by Campman. 3rd and 9. We're going to go screen to Peterson. Not there, incomplete. Let's look at Adrian Peterson real fast, out of Oklahoma. Played for the Vikings back in the early part of the decade. So, 4th and 9 at the Green Bay 48. A little soft shoe action here out of Bob Lee, perhaps, looking for the coffin corner. And it's out of bounds at the 14. Wood tried to get to it, but decided it was probably not a good idea to get to it. Okay, Packers down with 5:25 left to go in the game. They need 2 touchdowns. They're down 24-10. A near interception for Bryant, but he couldn't hang on to it. Incomplete. 2nd and 10. Penalty.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 20, automatic. 1st down.
This time Bryant got a little too handy with Houghton, and Houghton wanted a flag. So now, 1st and 10 at the 34. 20-yard pickup on the penalty. Nelson was hurt on the play as Rogers tried to go to Hudson, incomplete. That'll bring Antonio Freeman into the game for Green Bay. 2nd and 10. Rogers will scramble, picks up 12. Rhodes on the tackle for Minnesota. First and 10 at the 46. Houghton was hurt. That brings James Lofton in, who played for Green Bay before going on playing with some other teams. I believe Buffalo was one of the teams he was with. A second and 10 at the 46. Pickup of a yard for Rodgers, but Joey Browner was able to get to him fast. Third and 9 now for Green Bay at their own 47. See what happened there. They went with a flea flicker again. That was kind of ill-advised. And they tried to go deep to Green, incomplete. Rodgers took a hit on the throw. I'm going to watch for a fake punt here. I kind of wonder if this is a genuine attempt here by the Packers to punt the ball. No, they actually punt it, and it's out of bounds at the 1. So it's 24-10 Vikings. We're going to go Tarkenton straight ahead on a dive. Give him some room back there, and it's good for 4 yards. We're going to slow this puppy down, use all that clock, and we're going to go build Brown on a dive play. And it's good for 3 yards. Force the Packers to call those timeouts, which they haven't done yet, it appears. Keep it up the middle, off tackle right, Peterson. Not there. Well, it was there for a yard gain. They needed more than that. And the Packers let it run down to the 2-minute warning. Now, a 4th and 2 at the 9. And Tarkenton is going to take a safety. Runs it through the back of the end zone, which you do for field position purposes. If you let Minnesota punt, then they would get it at about the 50. This way, you give up 2 points, but you're going to get better field position. Here's the free kick. That was our first safety in HTFL history, by the way. A punt of 60 yards. And Woods brings it out to the 38, Willie Wood. First and 10 from there. Long catch, a touchdown. Sterling Sharp. And that plan to take a safety may have backfired there. Here's the point after, and it's good. 24-19 now. And Packers got to be going for an onside kick here, even though they have 1:35 left and 3 timeouts. And the Vikings look for it. White picks it up. But this one far from over yet. The way it has gone is Green Bay was able to get a quick score off of the free kick. We're going to play it safe and go with a dive to Peterson. Packers call timeout after he gains a yard. Double tight end. Again, playing it safe. We do not want to fumble the ball under any circumstances. Off tackle right to Bill Brown. Pickup of 3. Packers burn a second timeout. We're going to go Fran Tarkenton. Sweep to the left. But hang on to the ball, Fran. That's the most important thing. He picks up 4 yards. It's going to be 4th and 2. Ball will be at the 47 of Green Bay, and the Packers burn their last time out. Sideline, Bob Lee. And it's not a good one. 22 yards. Send everybody back. Play prevent. Play deep zone. First and 10 from the 25. Incomplete. Sharp was the intended receiver. Bryant deflected it. Second and 10 at the 25. Incomplete. Jordy Nelson, the intended receiver. So we now go to third and 10. Incomplete. Sharp was the intended receiver. So we're going to play for the long pass. Dime formation. 4th down. It's intercepted. And that should be the game. Bobby Bryant saves the day for the Vikings. Tarkenton's going to take a knee, and that should be that. And there you go. Final score, Minnesota 24, Green Bay 19. So Minnesota will start. You see the scoring summary there. Green Bay got the first score, got the last scores, but Minnesota got all of those in between, and that was good enough to win this game, 24-19. So they join, as we look at the upper north standings, very early with many weeks left in this season. Minnesota will be 1-0, Chicago 1-0, Detroit and Green Bay will start 0-1. Looking forward to the next few games as we wrap up week 1. We got 4 games left to go. Next up, Seattle travels to Denver. Then after that, San Diego travels to Arizona. And after that, the mysterious Las Vegas Ironmen travel to LA to play the Rams, which will be a combination of Rams, Raiders, and Chargers, who all played in Los Angeles, and perhaps a few Los Angeles Dons, too, from the AAFC. And then the big battle will be last on Monday night. New York's Giants and New England's Patriots. New York will be a combination of the Giants, the Jets, the old New York Bulldogs, New York Titans before they became the Jets. Probably some Brooklyn Dodgers on that team too. They're all eligible to play on the New York team. New England will be a combination of the Boston and New England Patriots. So that'll be a wrap for today. Your final once again, Minnesota 24, Green Bay 19. This has been Big Paulie coming to you. We wish you well. We hope you stay safe wherever you are and whenever you listen to this. And we'll talk to you again real soon. Bye-bye for now, everybody.